Good morning everyone. This is Group 5 and today we will be discussing about an act defining certain rights of person arrested, detained or under custodial investigation as well as the duties of the arresting, detaining and investigating officers and providing penalties for violations thereof, or also known as the RA or Republic Act number 7438. And these are my group members. So, RA 7438 is a landmark legislation in the Philippines that aims to safeguard the rights of the individuals during arrest, detention, and custodial investigation. It was enacted on April 27, 1992. In Section 1 or Statement of Policy, it is the policy of the Senate to value the dignity of every human being and guarantee full respect for human rights. So it is the Senate's policy or administration to value the dignity of every human being and guarantee their full respect for human rights. And Section 2 or Rights of Persons Arrested, Detained, or under custodial investigation, duties of public officers. In paragraph A, any person arrested or detained or under custodial investigation shall at all times be assisted by counsel. This means that from the moment of arrest, the person arrested or detained or under custodial investigation should have access to a lawyer who can provide guidance and representation. Having a counsel or lawyer present helps protect the rights of the accused, particularly the right to remain silent. Legal counsel can advise individuals on whether to answer questions or make statements, which is vital in safeguarding against self-incrimination. And also, the presence of counsel is intended to level the playing field between law enforcement and the individual. It helps ensure that the rights of the arrested person are treated fairly throughout the legal process. And that is the importance of having a counsel or lawyer being present throughout the process. And in paragraph B, any public officers or employee or anyone acting under his order or his place who arrests, detains, or investigates any person for the commission of an offense shall inform the latter in a language known to and understood by him of his rights to remain silent and to have competent and independent counsel, preferably of his own choice, who shall at all times be allowed to confer privately with the person arrested, detained, or under custodial investigation. If such person cannot afford the services of his counsel, he must be provided with the competent and independent counsel by the investigating officer. So this provision outlines the responsibilities of public officers or employees during the arrest or detention of an individual. This means that any public officer or employee involved in the arrest, detention, or investigation must inform the individuals of their rights. This includes the right to remain silent and the right to legal counsel. This ensures that individuals are aware of their rights from the outset, which is crucial for protecting their legal interests. It also specifies language accessibility wherein information must be communicated in a language that the individual understands. This is important to ensure that all individuals, regardless of their language proficiency, can comprehend their rights. Individuals have also the option to choose their own lawyer, which is vital for ensuring that they receive personalized and effective legal representation. If the individual cannot afford a lawyer, the investigating officer is required to provide competent and independent counsel at no cost. This ensures that everyone, regardless of their financial situation, has access to legal representation, reinforcing the principle of equality before the law. And paragraph C, section 2, paragraph C is the custodial investigation report shall be reduced to writing by the investigating officer, provided that before such report is signed, thumb marked, if the person arrested or detained does not know how to read and write, it shall be read and adequately explained to him by his counsel or by the assisting counsel, provided the investigating officer in the language or dialect known to such arrested or detained person. Otherwise, such investigation report shall be null and void and no effect whatsoever. So this provision addresses the procedures surrounding the custodial investigation report in the context of Republic Act number 7438. The law mandates that the investigating officer must prepare a written report of the custodial investigation. Tapno ma-ensure nga adda official record na agad yung proceedings nga crucial for transparency and accountability. Before the report can be signed or thumb marked, especially if the individual cannot read or write, it must be read and explained by the assisting counsel to the person involved. This is essential to ensure that the individual understands the content and implications of the report. If the above conditions are not met, meaning if the report is not adequately explained or if the individual does not understand it, then the investigation report is considered null and void. This serves as a strong safeguard against potential abuses and ensures that individuals cannot coerced into signing documents they do not understand. Moving on to paragraph D, any extrajudicial confession made by a person arrested, detained, or under custodial investigation shall be in writing and signed by such person in the presence of his counsel or in the latter's absence upon a valid waiver and in the presence of any of the parents, elder brothers and sisters, his spouse, the municipal mayor, the municipal judge, district school supervisor, or priest or minister of the gospel as chosen by him. Otherwise, such extrajudicial confession shall be inadmissible as evidence in any proceeding. So this basically means that if someone is arrested and they confess to something outside of a formal court setting, like during police questioning, that confession needs to be written down and signed by them. But here's the catch. It has to be done in front of a lawyer, or if the lawyer isn't there, in front of someone else important like a family member or a local official. If those conditions aren't met, then that confession can't be used as evidence in court. It's all about making sure that the person's rights are protected and that they're not just saying things under pressure. And paragraph E, any waiver by a person arrested or detained under the provisions of Article 125 of the Revised Penal Code or under custodial investigation shall be in writing and signed by such person in the presence of his counsel. Otherwise, the waiver shall be null and void and of no effect. This paragraph states that if a person wants to waive their rights, such as the right to remain silent or the right to legal counsel, the waiver must be documented in writing. and the person must sign the waiver to indicate their consent, and also a lawyer must be present when the waiver is signed. If these conditions are not met, the waiver is considered null and void, meaning it has no legal effect. This provision is designed to ensure their rights and the implications of waiving them, thereby protecting them from potential coercion or misunderstanding during custodial investigation. And the last paragraph, which is any person arrested or detained or under custodial investigation shall be allowed visits by or conferences with any member of his immediate family or any medical doctor or priest or religious minister chosen by him or by any member of his immediate family or by his council or by any national non-governmental organization duly accredited by the Commission on Human Rights of by any international non-governmental organization duly accredited by the Office of the President. The person's immediate family shall include his or her spouse, fiancé or fiancée, parent or child, brother or sister, grandparent or grandchild, uncle or aunt, nephew or niece, and guardian or ward. So this provision outlines the rights of individuals who are arrested, detained, or under custodial investigation regarding their ability to communicate with others. Individuals in custody have the right to receive visits or hold conferences with members of their immediate family, which includes a wide range of relatives like asawa, naganak, anak, kakabsat, grandparents, and more. And they may also receive visits from medical doctor or religious minister of their choice and representatives from national or international non-governmental organizations that are accredited by relevant authorities. This right is crucial for ensuring that individuals maintain connections with their loved ones and have access to necessary support, whether medical or spiritual. Isu ti uphold ti dignidad ken mental well-being dagiti individuals during a challenging time. Allowing these visits is parts of broader human rights protections, ensuring that individuals are not isolated and can seek assistance or counsel from trusted persons. So this is the section 2 of the Republic Act 7438.
Section 3. Assisting counsel. In any lawyer, except those directly affected by the case, those charged with conducting preliminary investigation or those charged with the prosecution crimes. Ibig sabihin, ang mga abogado na hindi direktang kasangkot sa isang kaso, ang mga nagsasagawa ng preliminary investigation o ang mga nag-uusig ng mga krimen ay maaaring tawaging mga abogado ng suporta o mga abogado na tumutulong sa sistema ng hustisya. Halimbawa, ang mga abogado na ito ay nagtatrabaho para sa gobyerno at tumutulong sa pagpapatupad ng batas. The assisting counsel other than the government lawyers shall be entitled to the following fees. A. The amount of 150 pesos if the suspected person is chargeable with light felonies. B. The amount of 250 pesos if the suspected person is chargeable with less grave or grave felonies. C. The amount of 350 pesos if the suspected person is chargeable with a capital offense. In the absence of any lawyer, no custodial investigation shall be conducted and the suspected person can only be detained by the investigating officer in accordance with the provision of Article 125 of the Revised Penal Code.
So ngayon, let's discuss about the Section 4 of Republic Act 7438, which is the penalty clause. Paragraph A. Any arresting public officer or employee or any investigating officer who fails to inform any person arrested, detained, or under custodial investigation of his right to remain silent and to have competent and independent counsel, preferably of his own choice, shall suffer a fine of 6,000 pesos or a penalty of imprisonment of not less than 8 years but not more than 10 years or both. So, ibagbaga na dito yung nga, oray sino nga arresting officer or any investigating officer nga haanda na ibaga or they fail nga ibaga inti may isang arrested person detained when no under custodial investigation, their right to remain silent. Ket they shall suffer a fine of 6,000 pesos or 8 to 10 years of imprisonment. Pero nakadepende latta inti decision ti court no agbayad ka lang ti fines or mabalin mo't nga makulong ka. Ken mabalin nga both agbayad ka ti fines tapos makulong ka pa lang. The penalty of perpetual absolute disqualification shall also be imposed upon the investigating officer who has been previously convicted of a similar offense. So sinasabi dito na pag yung isang officer is na-convict na noon and na-involve pa ulit sa ganong sitwasyon is pwede siyang matanggal sa serbisyo. The same penalty shall be imposed upon a public officer or employee or anyone acting upon orders of such investigating officer or in his place, who fails to provide a competent and independent counsel to a person arrested, detained, or under custodial investigation for the commission of an offense if the latter cannot afford the services of his own counsel. So, example, dito iket kasla kuma ni Mayor, tinawagan na may isa nga pulis nga tumulong kinya na nga agimbestiga ket that officer he fails to provide a competent and independent counsel to a person arrested. So if he failed to give that, meron siyang penalty that is either a fine or imprisonment of 8 to 10 years or pwede ding both na penalty is gawin sa kanya, ganon. Punta naman tayo sa paragraph B. Any person who obstructs, prevents, or prohibits any lawyer, any member of the immediate family of a person arrested, detained, or under custodial investigation, or any medical doctor or priest or religious minister chosen by him or by any member of his immediate family or by his counsel, from visiting and conferring privately with him, or from examining and treating him, or from ministering to his spiritual needs at any hour of the day or in urgent cases of the night shall suffer the penalty of imprisonment of not less than 4 years nor more than 6 years and the fine of 4,000 pesos. Ang example nito is kunwari si Mayor, sinabihan yung mga officer na wag ipapakausap ang arrested person sa mga kamag-anak niya. So si Mayor, he's also liable for that kasi sabi any person hindi lang yung police or officer. So, RA 7438, hindi lamang law enforcement officer ang sinasaklaw niyan. Any person, once na na-violate mo yan ay merong corresponding na penalty para dyan. Ganon. The provisions of the above section notwithstanding, any security officer with custodial responsibility over any detainee or prisoner may undertake such reasonable measures as may be necessary to secure his safety and prevent his escape. So, sinasabi dito na any security officer with custodial responsibility over any detainee or prisoner may undertake such reasonable measures. So, take note, reasonable measures. Meaning, pwede kang gumawa ng paraan or makatwirang paraan para hindi makatakas yung prisoner. Or otherwise, pwedeng ikaw ay makasuhan ng infidelity in the custody of the prisoner. At the same time, you do not want to use force or violence, but take note, huwag mong hahayaang makatakas. Otherwise, makakasuhan ka rin. So, yun naman yung collateral ng Republic Act 7438.
Section 5 Repealing Clause Republic Act Number 857 as amended is hereby repealed. Other laws, presidential decrees, executive orders, or rules and regulations, or parts thereof inconsistent with the provisions of this act are appealed or modified accordingly. It essentially removes or invalidates a section of an earlier law, rendering it no longer in effect. It ensures that any older legal provisions that would conflict with the new statute are nullified to avoid confusion or legal conflicts.
Section 6. Effectivity. This act shall take effect 15 days following its publication in the Official Gazette or in any daily newspaper general circulation in the Philippines. RA 7438, Section 6 states that the law will take effect 15 days after it is published either in the Official Gazette or a daily newspaper that is widely circulated in the Philippines. This gives the public enough time to be informed about the new law before it is enforced. Example, if a new law is signed on January 1 and published in a newspaper on January 5, it will start to be effective 15 days later, which would be January 20.
And that's all for the Republic Act 7438. Thank you for listening.